Okay. So, yeah, welcome to this conversation between the Isha Foundation and Look After Me, where we will be exploring our partnership under the New Zealand FTA IOSH provisions. So, can you all see the screen? I think.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Good. So, yeah, the purpose of this, as I say, is to build some bridges between us, between the Isha Foundation and Coimbatore and Rotorua. And I'd like to introduce, he'll either be joining us very shortly, Professor Gunnar Magnuson, he's the current president of the Hindu Council of New Zealand, and recently he was honoured at the World Hindu Economic Forum for exceptional commitment and support. He has an enormous reach in Rotorua and in New Zealand, exemplifying selfless service. So welcome, Gunnar-ji. Colin, I've just had news from Colin was hoping to join us. He's currently flying. He's hoping to land in Scotland, leaving Scotland. So he may or may not join us, which is why I'm recording this. He is one of our my co-director and involved in hotel management here in New Zealand and a commercial property broker. Myself, I'm Dr. Julia Ann. I'm the founder and managing director of Look After Me. And together with Professor Gunnar Magnuson, I'm the co-manager of the Hindu Heritage Centre and our community gardens. And together we've been collaborating and we've hosted about 562 cultural and wellness events. About 10,000 people have come through. Now I'd like to just invite you to introduce yourselves. From what I understand, I'm just looking through, we've got Gayenja, and so you're welcome to come off mute and introduce yourself briefly if you'd like. It's no problem if you don't, but you can if you like. This is your opportunity.
Thanks, Julia. Julia, we have, I'll just maybe share a little bit of quick context as well in terms of the various groups of people who are there. So right now we have Gangaya, who I think was had met Ashish here in the Isha Yoga Center in Coimbatore, and that is where I'm from as well. So both of us, Gangaya and myself, we're from for the lack of a better word, I'll say headquarters perhaps, the Isha Yoga Center here in Coimbatore. But we have the team from Australia and New Zealand, the coordinators and the volunteers who operate out of there, because they would have a lot more context and they'd be able to share a lot more details in terms of how we can take the engagement forward. So I'll hand that over to Girinandini, who's joining us from there, and maybe she can introduce the team from the Australia New Zealand side.
Thank you, Divya. So namaskaram, Julia. It's good to see you, to meet you. So my name is Girinandini. So I'm based. Actually, I'm also based in India. I'm just one of the facilitators for our program, the inner engineering program. So I do travel around Asia Pacific for classes, and I'm right now in Melbourne. So we have two people from the Australia team who are here with us, Robson and Abby. So they are part of the Australia PR team. And we don't have anybody from New Zealand right now in this call, but Abby is based in Sydney and Robson is based in Brisbane. So I think we can see how we can collaborate. Yeah.
Thank you.
Julie.
Thank you. Thanks for your introduction. Anybody else? I think, yeah, Ashish. He's excused himself from being on the call. He's actually in the current. Thanks.
Yes, I'm just here, Julia. I just want to listen in. I want to thank both the sides, and then Divya, and then to bringing the right people to this forum. Of course, to you, Julia. So it's going to be a great opportunity for all of us. So yes, counterpart and folks from Isha. So I'm there. So yeah, of course we're closely connected by all the means. So yeah, let's get this there,
Okay.
Julia.
Thank you. Just wanted to give you an opportunity. So we have had our introductions. I have had some prayers and I've lit the lamp. So I'm going to talk really briefly about what is Utopia, what is this 8-pillar framework we've got, and then highlight what's special about Rotorua. So this is the symbol we're using for Utopia. It's an 8-day immersive program in Rotorua's sacred geothermal valley. It's the integration of ancient agamic wisdom for the modern seeker, and it's indigenous-led experiences across 4 wellness pillars and 4 spiritual pillars, and I'll take you through those. So the wellness pillars, heading the first 4 days, well, it's essentially earth, water, fire, and air. And as we move across this matrix, we offer spiritual experiences such as the knowledge-based breath work and yoga, pranic nutrition, and root chakra activation. And then we partner with various tourism operators like the Geothermal Wonderland, nourishing the food body like with Tapuya. And I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can probably read faster than I can talk, and you may be well familiar with these themes, but the framework is really using our natural environment together with the ancient wisdom. So I'll just move on. And then, so that was the 4 wellness pillars. Now there's also 4 spiritual pillars, which is the space and expression and expressing our authentic voice, mind, intuition and inner vision, then consciousness and the divine connection, and then spirit. So invoking through the left, we could see the left through the chakras to invoke the spirit consciousness. That's where we're going with this, and we've got some beautiful partners and some absolutely wonderful locations. So Rotorua is the only place on the earth where the earth, water, fire, air and space express themselves simultaneously. That's what makes this really special. So we're offering our residents authentic sacred space, not commercialized wellness. We already have a community of practitioners aligned with Dharmic wisdom. We have in our Hindu Heritage Centre yoga every single day. We have meditation, and we have other cultural practices there. And these are, we believe, magnified by the power of our geothermic field. We launched this last year, and it was a collaboration between the Hindu Heritage Centre and Look After Me, and we're blending that spirituality, tourism, well-being, and people came from all around the North Island. So it was about 103 people joined in, and there was a range of self-care practices, sound healing, and going through this process. So now I'll talk briefly about the New Zealand-India Free Trade Agreement, in particular the Irish provisions. Again, this is about building these bridges. This article was published recently, and it actually really talks about the significant step that our countries have made. And it's positioning Irish systems at the very centre of a new framework for our international collaboration. And it's allowing the opening of new pathways, professional mobility, and coupling these institutional partnerships in India's traditional healthcare with creating new pathways. And so this slide's really for one of our Scottish friends, but what is Irish? And you'll all know this, I'm sure, but it is India's Ministry of Traditional Medicine. It's an acronym standing for A for Ayurveda, Y for Yoga and Naturopathy, U for Unani, S for Siddha, and H for Homeopathy. And this is the official Indian framework and it's actually the very system that this partnership is is built on. So it's not a private arrangement, but a government recognised field of practice. And there are 4 provisions in the FTA agreement. So the first of these is the services chapter, which is the umbrella that governs the trade and services. Mode 4 is the part of the agreement where it allows for the movement of people, and it's the clause where it allows yoga teachers and Ayurvedic practitioners to deliver services across borders and to travel. What we know so far is that the Yoga Certification Board, which is the Indian national certification, it is matching those certified teachers as a recognised credential, and that will be used to allow these professionals to travel. And there's provision for other qualifications. So in terms of the state of play, like an honest conversation, the negotiations are ongoing, and that is potentially our leverage. And this means that the New Zealand FTA agreement, although it has been signed, it's still being shaped in how it becomes enacted across our borders. And it's not a weakness. It just means that nothing's really locked in place. And so a concrete flagship proposal, like what I'm proposing between Utopia and Isha, might help shape the provisions, not merely react to them. And so it provides for every year 200 yoga teachers allocated to travel to New Zealand. It's a reciprocal recognition pathway. It's still important that New Zealand's basic standard language in English is met, and candidates still require a legitimate either an employment contract or an invitation from a recognised wellness centre or a studio, so to utilise the pathway, and that's going to be an important part. I've just realised my video wasn't on this whole time, but never mind. Sorry. So we're seeking partners who will honour our authenticity, not just commercialise diluted wellness. Value dharmic principles, so that's service over profit and transformation of people over transactions, have operational excellence and can deliver consistent quality, and share our vision through our global impact through authentic healing, and really understand and help navigate this. It is a new arrangement, but we are looking for people who can help navigate that. So the other thing I wanted to do is talk about what we've got in common, where I feel like we complement each other, where I'm going to be proposing that we go from the earth of Rotorua to the space of the Dhyanalinga, from the gross to the subtle. So let me explain what I mean by that. I'm proposing a twin city package, Rotorua and Coimbatore, like the 2 poles but one transformational arc. And I'm proposing something called the Panchabhuta healing journey, so 2 ancient lands but the 5 elements. And so instead of us just doing this by ourselves, this is a proposal where we join forces and we offer 8-day experience in Rotorua and then an 8-day experience in Coimbatore, utilising, and you can see right through the middle, we've got the elements, the earth, water, fire, air, and space, and then the various attributes of those regions. So for us, it's geothermal, mud and stone, and our sacred hot springs, and for you, it's Dhyanalinga and Linga by Bhairavi, if I've said that correctly. And so, yeah, to summarise, that's New Zealand's sacred geometry, and India, it's your dharmic wisdom. And so, thanks to AI, they've come up with this beautiful image, which actually really portrays the rich tapestry of our sacred geometry and your ancient dharmic wisdom. So we're taking, another way we could frame it is from one journey, from body to being. And I'll just take through what I'm proposing. So in Rotorua, there's ascent into the earth. The elements are raw and untamed. The earth steams, the water boils, and the fire rises. And this is where the journey begins. This is similar to what you've already seen. So, but now we're combining it's a two-city structure. So, day one, arrival in Earth. Again, I won't read through this, but it's reasonably well thought out as we go through using the elements just for time. And you can see some photographs of experiences when we've taken our guests through these experiences in our Hindu Heritage Centre or with our spa and wellness providers, the geothermal and our other healing practitioners, pranayama, you can see there. And we do have some really beautiful accommodation providers offering gorgeous wellness spaces for our patrons, really enjoying a beautiful experience by the lake. Whereas in Coimbatore, it's really more about the ascent into space, and so that 8 days is more about that classical yoga immersion. So the same 5 elements, but it's much more refined, offered at the feet of the master, really from the raw power of the earth to the silent vastness. And not having visited there, I've done my best to understand your offering, and this is a starting point for discussion. So I'm sorry if I haven't quite understood things well, but what I've tried to do is think about your offering and how it might meet or go along with the Utopia framework. So you can see the same sort of thing: earth, water, fire, air, space integration, and certainly some practices that you know and love, and makes it completely different from what we offer, but hopefully integrated. And so the transformational arc for our yoga teachers and our practitioners is using these elements so going from that geothermal body of Rotorua, from raw to refined. So it's the same seeker arriving at it as a body, but leaving as a being. And in terms of what makes this work is the reciprocity. That's kind of like what we call the hidden engine, and it's actually the teacher exchange itself that makes it circular. And we're proposing that initially we have, say, 2 to 4 hatha yoga teachers from Isha travel to Rotorua and bringing that classical yoga transmission, the Dhyanalinga energy, and that inner engineering methodology. And then what follows is that 2 to 4 of our Utopia healers or practitioners then travel to Coimbatore. With them, they're taking the geothermal therapy knowledge and that Māori wellness integration and the 8-pillar framework. And so just, remembering this is not a private arrangement, it's a government sanctioned bridge between the 2 nations, as I'm proposing. So we're just at the point, I'm going to finish talking soon, but what I'm going to then open up the discussion, and how I'm planning to do that is I'm going to be asking 4 questions about what we're asking or what we're proposing, and I guess the framework is there enough alignment to take these next steps together? So certainly it's our first conversation, so it's not any commitment, it's not a financial ask, it's not any request to modify your programs. We're really about you asking some questions, you helping decide timelines, your honest assessment of feasibility. So the first question is around co-designing a partnership. So I guess the first priority would be, would Isha be willing to explore co-designing the 8-day Coimbatore module? And is there any willingness to combine your classical yoga transmission with our Utopia geothermal wellness framework? And so using your sacred spaces and teaching, to help sort of build the engine. So I'm just going to pause there and let you think about that. And if anyone wants to put up their hand, take yourself off mute, or to join in. Anyone want to comment, or is this the sort of thing that you'd probably take these questions and then go and discuss them amongst yourselves? I'm more than happy to just pose the questions here, and then maybe when we come back, yep, someone's giving me a thumbs up.
Hi, Julia. I think it's probably something that
Immediate
we need
questions
to.
right away. Maybe Girinandani, if you have something.
No, I'm just thinking that I think it's something that we probably have to tag back and
Yep,
discuss before we can get back to you, Julia, whether
that's
this is something that is possible in terms of co-designing the
absolutely.
modules. Yes,
Yep.
and combining it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do, if it's okay, is I'll share the 4 questions and say we are recording this, so you can go back and have a look, and then for our next meeting, we can perhaps, that could be a starting place to pick up the conversations. So that's the first question is around a co-design partnership. Area 2 is around, would Isha consider nominating 2 to 4 certified Hatha yoga teachers for a reciprocal exchange using the FTA AYUSH 200 teacher allocation as the legal pathway? Whew, that was quite a lot. But yeah, so that would be another thing for you to consider. Would you have a couple of teachers, 2 to 4 teachers? Would
So on that one, Julia, so what does that mean? So basically they will be stationed there and conduct sessions there?
yes,
That second question?
I think it's initially, well, there's a couple of different ways we could do that. One, they could just come over for an 8-day exchange and try out our geothermal Utopia framework, or it could be the provision allows for yoga teachers to come here anywhere between a week and 3 years. So it could be that when we have yoga every day, but we can create more classes. There's sort of certainly plenty of demand if there was a yoga teacher, or some of our yoga teachers, we do have hatha yoga 3 times a week. I know some of them actually really need a break. They've been teaching, year after year, and so we could create opportunities, not just in Rotorua, but we've got links to wellness studios in Tauranga, which is 1 hour away, Hamilton, which is an hour away, Taupo, which is an hour away. So they could explore the whole geothermal basin. And I think that's the thing about Look After Me being both a travel and a wellness company. We can actually help put a personalised package together for, not all yoga teachers will do the same thing. So, that would be it's a great question, and yet to, we'd absolutely tailor those packages for that person. Yeah. I will hopefully answer that question. The
Yes,
next
yes.
point of interest is, would Isha join Look After Me and the Hindu Heritage Centre in a joint expression of interest to the New Zealand and Indian trade authorities under the FTA AYUSH provisions? And so in this way, by framing a joint expression of interest, we would signal to our government that we're actually serious about helping shape this. And fortunately, the trade Minister of Trade who signed the agreement, he's just a few blocks down down, so I know him personally reasonably well. The Right Honourable Todd McLeay. So I could go and have a chat with him and explain what we're planning to do, and he'll certainly be able to put us in the right direction should we progress. So that's one of our questions. Another area is, would Isha consider hosting 2 to 3 of our representatives? So that's maybe out from the Māori cultural, the geothermal. We do have Ayurvedic practitioners here, and or for a short visit to scope the logistics. Well, I guess it's probably more for Guna and myself, and others to sort of to shape that journey flow for a start, and then we would look at who would send. In terms of timing, for our New Zealand-based contingent, we've got a Utopia program, a group coming up in September, which is just a month away, and so that's not a realistic time frame for anything international. But just to say, we have got a group intake of Utopia on the February the 28th. We do run the program every week, but we in 4 times a year, spring, summer, winter, and autumn, we have a larger group, and that might be a nice a nice program to join. So yeah, just I'm going to pause there, and I think just open up that conversation. That's all I had really. So I've just wanted to just share, that's what we're thinking at the moment. So if anyone wants to offer some first thoughts, you'd be most welcome.
Hi, Julia. This is Abhi here in Sydney. Just in terms of the organization, what is the structure of your organization? Like, are you for profit, or how does it? Like, you've gone through the management, but how do you run the programs and you make profit out of it? How is it defined under the New Zealand
That's a great
laws?
question. So it's a partnership between the Hindu Heritage Centre, which is a not-for-profit, and that's a community organisation. We only have community funding, and that runs the hall and the centre, and then alongside is a tourism company. So yes, a limited liability company that theoretically is for profit, but that's not our main driver. And so I head up both, and so it's the wellness organisation that will help with the itinerary. So there's a certain amount of logistics in organising international travel, flights and accommodation, and then the program. So the fees will be shared to the Hindu Heritage Centre for their operations, and then which helps pay for their teachers, and then also into the wellness company. So hopefully that explains. And so under the Hindu Heritage Centre, we have mainly volunteers, and then with the Look After Me, we mainly have contractors and staff and work with like travel agents, because there needs to be a certain amount of professionalism with those specialised skills in organising vouchers for accommodation and meals, and the tourism experiences that complement our program.
Okay, thank you.
So, Julia, just
Any
wondering,
other
how
questions?
many? Okay, Julia, just wondering what is your normal, is this an existing program that you already have, this 8 days program?
Yes, the 8-day program is an existing program happening. It's called Utopia. You can Google Utopia. You'll see.
Okay, so that's the one that you say the intake is coming in
Yes, yeah, we've got
September
it. Yeah, and so you can see our teachers, and in much more detail around our partners. I'm sorry, I did step through it rather fast, but yes, it's an
Okay.
existing program. It's based here in Rotorua. And but I just had
How
this
many people
brainwave.
normally come
Pardon?
in one? I mean, how big is the program normally
So it's
in
8
one?
days, and it's modest, actually, quite small. You've sort of seen the last group's about 15 to 20 people, so not a huge program. So reasonably manageable,
Okay.
and that just keeps our logistics, everything, all quite modest. So that it's manageable, so that everyone has a really personalised experience. I think maybe, part of me thinks, oh, it'd be good to grow bigger, but then the personalized experience, it's so, and the Hindu Heritage Centre is such a sacred space. I really like it when there's about 15 to 20. That feels about right. So yeah, not a big program at all.
Okay. And they're mostly from where they're from normally, like these
The
participants?
first one that we did, we only advertised within New Zealand, because New Zealanders themselves are very conservative, and we thought, well, if we could, get New Zealanders to test the program and make sure it's working well, then that would be a good thing. But this next program, people also are coming from around New Zealand, and we've advertised more in Australia. But as we were doing it, it's the free trade agreements has only just been signed, and so Guna and I are asking ourselves, well, could we build a bridge? Could we invite Indians? Would anyone from India come to this? And we don't know. The invitation is issued, and yeah, we don't know. So happy to experiment. Yeah, we have worked with other programs in the past, like our writers programs, and another TV show with China and with Australia, and so yeah, this is a fairly new.
Okay. Thank you, Julia.
Just one more question, Julia. So, in terms of the logistics, you mentioned the FTA. How important it is for you to utilize that channel? The reason where I'm coming from is that what is the priority here to have Isha Foundation involved in teaching a particular program, utilizing Isha Foundation's teachers, or the teachers have to come from India?
It's a great question. No, I don't think we need to prioritize. We are interested in transformation of people, transformation of consciousness, and enlightened beings. And so for us, it feels like, I guess because Guna is the president of the Hindu Council of New Zealand, he's very much involved in these conversations. And so part of me is taking a lead from him. But and there is a legal pathway through the Irish and free trade. However, we would still be free if we decided that the logistics and the mechanisms of that is too cumbersome. There isn't any reason why we couldn't have a private arrangement between Isha and the Hindu Heritage Centre, because it might take even a year to 18 months for the legal framework to actually be built and to catch up. So if we wanted to move a little bit faster than that, I don't think we need to be constrained by it, but I think we need to be aware of it as an opportunity for us all.
Okay, sure. And follow up to that is, if let's say, because most of our program are well structured and designed by Sadhguru. So if you were to conduct a program, because without knowing the way your programs are currently structured, just wanted to see, is there any expectation in terms of how we conduct the programs and what we conduct in terms of the programs, because that is a certain fixed guidance we typically have. So just want to understand what do you think about those things when you're saying inviting us to conduct the program at your center.
Yes, I think it's kind of the other way around. We would come and enjoy your programs at your centre, or it's both. I think the thing to do is really have a look. Maybe we'd need like a small committee of us to actually look at our program and then really look at your program and then see, is there an alignment. That's what I might propose next. And I've actually just seen that Zoom, this is a free Zoom thing, so we're going to lose, we have to wrap this up fairly soon. I think this has been a really good framework for discussion, and it's probably brought up a lot more questions than what I can answer, but that's actually okay. So let's pause here. I'll send the recording, and we'll schedule another chat in another couple of weeks and pick up some of those questions. Does that sound okay? I feel like
that's fine, Julia.
Yeah.
And you can share that slides that you shared too.
Yeah, yes.
And then
So I'll share the recording, which and well, I have the slides so that you can see step by step, what we're offering.